So I'm making this video today just to tell about my relationship with drugs and the drugs that I have tried. Ask anybody who knows me, I've always felt like drugs and substances have been a big part of my life. The main reason why I started this channel was I was originally gonna review drugs, but then I thought that they might ban my channel or like shadow ban it or something, and then I also felt like just super self-conscious about who might see it and what perceptions they might make of me. I made this channel a supplement channel instead, talking about natural supplements that I've tried. In today's video, I'll tell you guys about the different drugs I have tried. Mainly the main ones: alcohol, weed, nicotine, mushrooms like magic mushrooms, Nas, ketamine. All of these which are either legal in the state of California or decriminalized, so I'm not coming on here incriminating myself. Let's start off with the most common one. I live in Los Angeles, California. I live in Cali, the West Coast. Weed. Marijuana has never really fit or molded with, I guess, just my body per se. The first couple times I tried weed, as you know, you just trip out super heavily, and I never really just liked smoking that much. I know some people can get into it and they enjoy it a lot, but I've definitely leaned on the more paranoid side of whenever I smoke. Like, it's easy for me to kind of get into that paranoid side of it where you start overthinking and thinking of like bad things and stuff. So thankfully I'm glad that I'm not addicted to weed, because I know a lot of people that are, and I don't really want to say the word addicted. I know some people that are addicted to weed. A lot of people that are will actually claim that weed is not addictive, but freaking anything's addictive. Drinking water is addictive. But yeah, weed's just never really been my thing. I definitely really didn't start trying it until I got here to Cali, so everything's big out here: edibles, pre-rolls, bongs. But yeah, it's not really like a big one for me. The second drug, alcohol. This has always been my demon. Alcohol's been my lady that I love. If you're young especially, you know just like how fun it is to like drink, go partying with your friends. You're young, you're doing dumb stuff, you're even like drunk driving, getting into trouble, all this stuff. Nothing that I recommend, but you know, when you're young and you're dumb, you kind of just do it. So I'm 24 now, but I started drinking at a very early age, probably like 14 years old maybe, back in Florida. And I always kept it on the hush, of course. But yeah, I've always just loved how alcohol makes me feel. I'm one of those people who gets kind of like a sense of euphoria. My anxiety goes down, I have increased confidence. So the main reason why I used alcohol in the past and why I still do drink, even though I'm trying to stop just completely, is for women. You know, being a young man, it can be kind of hard to like talk to girls or whatever, but in a party setting, once you're drunk, you just don't care, you don't think at all. So I used to just drink, whatever, go talk to girls, and that was like some of my first actual interactions with women, was because I was just drunk and I didn't care about whether they rejected me or curved me or not. So even still to this day, I can make a video about my relationship with women. Comment down below if you guys want to see that video as well, because that's like a whole nother doozy. But I normally always drink if I have a girl around. Like, if I'm going out on dates with her, I want to have like a glass of wine at the restaurant, or if we go out for drinks afterwards, I want to have like a nice cocktail or something, or if we come back to my place afterwards. It's kind of hard to just be sober with women. Maybe that's a bit alarming. That's kind of what this video is about too. It's like, I wouldn't classify myself as a drug addict or anything like that, but as humans, we have this natural inclination to lean towards substances. So for me, definitely with alcohol, especially when it comes to women, I just love to drink. I feel like I kind of have to do it, and I want to give up alcohol so bad. I want to stop it. It's gotten in the way of things. I've done like really dumb stuff on it. I've like hurt people like emotionally, done just like some things I could have gotten into a lot of trouble over, and thank God that I haven't. But I know that alcohol is not actually good for me. Like, I know so many just like raging alcoholics and people who got their lives destroyed by it. So yeah, definitely trying to leave that one behind. Next one, we'll go over magic mushrooms. So I tried shrooms for the first time again here in California. It's decriminalized, and shrooms are honestly amazing. I'll only do them maybe once, maybe twice a year, but the cool thing about shrooms is that they just they force you to think in a different manner than how you normally do. So the first time I tried shrooms out here was right before the pandemic, like literally like 2 weeks before the pandemic in 2020, and I was having a really tough time. I was living with some old roommates, and just by trying them, we went on like a little mini adventure at night. We went to this place called the Observatory, where there's a big telescope. And shrooms are dope because they're very insightful. They'll teach you things if you're like open yourself up to them, and you have like all these just revelations that you wouldn't normally have just by yourself. So another cool thing too is that if if you're like prone to like kind of having like sadder symptoms, so like if you're depressed or whatever, I think I've been depressed at like multiple points in my life. Shrooms almost offer like a reset button to where like you just feel so much better like the next day, like the next week, the next month, and your perspective is kind of more just positive. You have like more of a positive outlook on life. I always describe it as it feels like my brain has been washed after I do shrooms. Like, not that I'm like not myself, but my brain actually feels like it hurts sometimes like the next day after shrooms, but in like a refreshing way of like it just feels like everything has just changed. So yeah, shrooms are one that I definitely like, but they are to be respected. It only used a couple times a year. Another one that a lot of you guys probably might not have tried, but out here, Nas, like nitrous oxide. Again, a West Coast thing, kind of like a SoCal, like a Southern California thing. Again, when I first came out to LA, I was 18 years old. And I went to this party on the east side, East LA. It's like where a lot of like, you know, like a lot of like the fools live, like a lot of like people, like Chicanos that are actually from here live out there. And I noticed I went to the party, I'm like, I see everybody has these balloons. I'm like, dang, why does everybody got balloons? Is it a balloon party or something? And I see people are like inhaling it. I never had known that before. In Florida, I've never seen that. I've never seen people like inhaling from balloons. I'm thinking it's like laughing gas or like helium, but no, it's actually something called Nas. And basically when you inhale it, you just blast off to another world. It's terrible for your brain. I do not recommend it, especially if you still are like in that developmental age, like if you're like a teen or something. But Nas is actually really fun, I'm not gonna lie. As I get older, it doesn't really hit the same. I think maybe I've kind of already ruined those brain cells that could like have fun from them. But yeah, when you like inhale it and stuff, you just like feel like you blast off to another place. You feel like you kind of go outside of your body for a little bit. Sometimes you get like a little ringing sensation in your ears. It makes music sound so much better. Yeah, it's just like a really like fun thing. You like laugh a little bit off of it if you're like with friends and stuff. So again, something I didn't even know about until I came out to LA, but it's cool. I definitely, I used to like Nas. Again, not really as much anymore. The next one I will say that was something that came onslaught later in age was nicotine. So smoking, I just like kind of picked up smoking. I'd been smoking on and off since, again, I was like probably like 16. Like I'd have a cigarette every now and then, but especially like, you know, nowadays everybody has like the Nick vapes and stuff. And just recently, like maybe like a month or 2 months ago, I just got really into like vaping and stuff. I never got into Zens, even though a lot of my homies do Zens. I got really into like vaping or like smoking the occasional cig if I went out and stuff. And nicotine's cool because I actually like using it a lot to work. So like with editing for my YouTube channel, for working on things for my business, Nic just gives you kind of like a head rush where like you can just zone in a little bit. And yeah, you could just like focus a lot off of it. So I used to use that as almost like a working nootropic as a sorts. But the one thing about Nic that's terrible, why I don't recommend it, is that yes, it is like cancerous. So anything you do, the vaping, you do smoking, actually cigarettes, it is cancerous. Don't listen to what anybody tells you. And then also, it just messes with your emotions so much. So at first it feels good, like you're just getting the high, you're getting the high, you're getting the high. But then you start getting very irritable. I remember like after like just like maybe 2 or 3 weeks of just like vaping straight, I was getting like very almost like bipolar. So I'd like wouldn't want to see people sometimes. I wouldn't want to see my friends. I'd be like just randomly mad, like even going out to like fun like little events and parties and stuff. I would go in there like, hey, nobody better freaking talk to me or I'm gonna clock them in the face. Just because like, and that's not like me at all. So yeah, nicotine is like one I definitely don't recommend. I actually recommend you don't ever try it because you do get like a little bit of like a high and a rush from it, but it's not like lasting. I'm actually gonna add a bonus one in here. I forgot about it, but Adderall. So when I was younger, I used to use Adderall very sparingly, like only maybe for like a year, but not even consistently. Maybe it would be like every month for like a year straight. And again, just to help me with my work. I think I had an e-commerce brand, like a drop shipping brand, and it helped me just like create websites and stuff when I didn't want to. So I don't really classify Adderall as a drug, but it's one of those ones where it's like actual pharmaceutical, like you can get prescribed for it if you need it. So you don't really get too much of a rush from it. Music does sound better, you're able to do your work a little bit more, but I never was like addicted to it or really like liked it that much, because also the come down the next day, if you've ever taken Addies before, you know the come down is terrible. So I don't recommend that. And then the last one on this list, this would be number 7, is ketamine. So ketamine is another one that I never tried until I got out to California. I tried everything when I came to Cali, I guess. But yeah, they actually use it in different trials to help people with like depression and stuff. And again, for somebody that's kind of been on and off like habitually sad my whole life, I was like, let me try ketamine to see like if it would help me with that. And ketamine's cool. It's I forget like the classic drug that it is, but basically like you snort it like how you would do yayo. And yeah, like when you snort it, basically like you kind of feel just like very angelic. So you kind of go like out of your body a little bit, not like the same way that you would do with Nas, but you have to be careful because if you take too much of it, you'll end up with something called a K-hole, which is basically where you can't talk, you can't move. Basically, it's almost like you're paralyzed for like a little bit, and it's not a fun experience. It's almost like another trip in of itself, almost like an acid trip or a mushroom trip, off a little bit of K. Like if you do it like at a party or a club or something, you're just feeling very like ethereal. It's like a sense of euphoria you get in your body. Yeah, the music sounds good. It almost feels like you're like in a walking daydream. So I actually really liked K a lot, but it messes up your nose a lot. Like it actually like it can make you like bleed and stuff if you do too much of it, because the actual ketamine is very sharp. It's almost like these like very finely sharp crystals. And then also it messes up your bladder a lot. So if you do K for like long periods of time, like you're gonna have a hard time peeing. Like, you're gonna basically gonna have to pee more often. Like some people's bladders get destroyed by doing ketamine long term. So these are the drugs that I've tried. As somebody that's always been like an enthusiast, sometimes it's hard to walk through life alone. You know, you want somebody or something to hold your hand. And as like an independent person, as an independent man, a lot of times you want to be able just to like, for me, I want to be able just to go through life sober, but I can't lie, you know, like I love the drugs so much. And making a video like this is very scary as well, because, you know, like I have my professional life. I like pray my mama don't see something like this and think that her son is like down and out or something, because I'm not. Again, all these things are like either legal or decriminalized in California. So yeah, it's just kind of like a way to like have fun a little bit, you know. People have like their normal drugs like alcohol and stuff, but I always tell people that, man, I feel like the drugs, you know, sometimes they can blind people, but they've always helped me see, you know. They've always opened my eyes and they've helped me to different points in my life. I have tried more than I've disclosed on this list, but, you know, maybe I'll say that for another day. Comment if you guys want a part 2, but yeah, if you know what I'm talking about, then if you're like a real geek, a real space cadet, you know how it is. And drugs, they can actually help, you know. Yeah, life can be blinding, but the drugs can help you see. So I love you guys. This was an interesting video to make. Yeah, we'll see how it does, if I keep it up or not. But thank you guys for walking this path with me. I'll speak with you all very soon.